All right, chat. Stop bullying the QR code. People need that, okay? It's important. Stop bouncing cars off it. It'll be fine. We're ready to go into our second round of the mixed duo competition at the TM Games, where matches, I think, Padster, are about to start getting a little bit more interesting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's some really interesting matchups that have formed on this one. I don't think it's going to be a repeat of round one, where every match was a 2-0, bar one. And yeah, just trying to pick out some interesting one. I think Switzerland 1, Belgium 2 could be pretty close. Snappy and Area, perhaps slightly underrated players up against Afi and Thomas John. So that will be strong. But yeah, it's hard to pick out. There's too many to pick out.
That's a highlight there that part of the reason that we're still waiting. The USA versus USA match, the only match of round one to not be a 2-0, still ongoing. Quick update from that match.
Wait.
We're watching it live on other streams.
2, 1. USA
Happy
2.
New Year! USA 2 make it through.
Hey! Almost on time.
Pretty much bang on time, frankly. USA 2 formal, making it through over USA 1. Cackney and Neil sent to the lower bracket in round one.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were kind of looking over all the matches, and that one was most likely going to be the most competitive. We were kind of talking about before, the US team very evenly matched across the board. That one could have gone either way, but we didn't want to have an all USA stream, so we looked elsewhere. Yeah. Congrats USA 2, they go through, but it's that match right there to kind of... Well, I thought it was going to be that match there towards the bottom that we were going to be following. It is on our screen. I don't know where our match went. Yeah, the orders changed. It's Switzerland-Belgium is where my match was supposed to be, but that's not... I mean, Switzerland was an exciting team and all, but that's not who we have.
Nope, it is not. We are going to be watching the Czechia 1 versus Spain 1 match, which is, it's somewhere in this bracket. Listen, there it is.
There they are, yeah.
Beautiful. Czechia beating Australia 2, Spain beating Ukraine 2. I do, before we get into the weeds of this match in particular, I do want to highlight something we were talking about before we came back from the break there, G-Geek, which is what's happening to the poor, unfortunate Swedish teams.
Yeah, the Swedish team are having a little bit of a rough draw, we're not going to lie. Speaking of Sweden, there's the main Sweden lineup who is facing off against Great Britain number 1. And we're talking amongst ourselves, and some of us got our lineups backwards. It's going to be Josh and Pack who are going to be battling against the number 1 Swedish team, which is composed of Henkan and Kebi. It's not that great of a draw, but it could.
Well, it's also not great.
Could be worse, in the words of some floppy-haired British presenters. In the meantime, Sweden 2, Susui and Zenke, who are facing Team Boca 07, guys. It's been nice knowing you in the winner bracket. This is going to be a little bit tough. But in terms of the other matchups that I've been looking at that look pretty interesting, well, Patster has highlighted one, Switzerland 1 versus Belgium 2. Eria and Sapi could potentially spring some surprises. And another one that I wanted to point out as well, Germany 2, Masta and Granadi versus Slovenia 1, Manta and Jaka. This feels like Beacon Dual League all over again in terms of how the lineups sound. It promises to be a pretty good match, all things considered.
Yeah, that should be a super fun match. Looking forward to seeing how that one plays out as well. As a reminder, there are plenty of these players streaming their matches. The USA versus USA match, for example, that just wrapped up was, you could watch it over on Alex Scher's stream. Massa and Granadi both streaming their POVs if you wanted to watch that match. And frankly, just scroll through the entire Trackmania category on Twitch. Most of the streams right now are TM Games streams. So you can find pretty much any match that you are looking for. As we approach game time, Padster, I'm going to move us forward into the match that we are going to be watching. Czechia 1 versus Spain 1, and I'm just going to go straight forward. Let's start with our predictions straight away. The Czechia 1 team, Bestie and Hill, up against the Spain 1 team of Andy, RC, and Loco. Who do you got coming out on top?
I have to go for Bestie and Hill. I think they're a team who have played together a lot. They're two very equally skilled players, although I think it would be foolish to underrate Spain. I think a lot of Spanish players aren't the best known outside of their community, but Andy RC is a seriously good player. So, yeah, I'm expecting a close match, but I reckon that Czechia will just have enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do see a message in Twitch chat that they're brothers. Now, which team are they talking about? Great question. Very important.
Czechia.
Hopefully we find that out. Yeah, absolutely. Czechia. Okay, Formal, your prediction, please.
I mean, I'm glad you set me up a bit for that one, Padster, because like when I look at this matchup and I understand, yes, brothers, probably they would be favored. It would be that Czechia side, but I just don't want to pick against Andy RC right now. Both times we saw him in the seeding, he was constantly putting up good times, and then we didn't really get to follow him last time on the main broadcast and where his journey took him. But now that we get to see him in action in this 2v2, I'm leaning on Spain. I think Andy RC is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he'll help push this team over the line.
All right. I mean, G-Geek then looking to... Patser, did you say Spain or Czechia? I completely zoned out.
I
sorry.
said Czechia.
All right.
Czechia.
G-Geek, in that case, it is to break the tie.
I'm more aligned with Patster than Formal on that one. With Hill and Bestie, of course, with great synergy together, as we've seen during the Trackmania World Tour earlier on, back in 2025. Spain is definitely going to give him a run for their money. I'm expecting map 3, and I'm expecting an end score on map 3 that is no more than 2 points apart between both teams. I'm expecting things to be really close, but again, things can fall apart depending on the map order, so there's a lot of variables to take in, but ultimately, I would consider a 2-1 victory against Czechia to be the safe bet.
Yep, well, Czechia then going to be the team to take things down on our panel. We'll see if they can do it in the match as well. We're going to head straight on over to the... I don't have to make a pick. We're going to casters, and I'm getting out of here before anyone can pin down my position. Get out of here. Panzer and Formal, your match.
What a coward, Padster. What an
I know,
coward.
honestly. No, dodging the questions entirely.
Because this match is too close, right? It's because this one actually is one of the more coin flippy matches we could have found. And they're only gonna get tougher and tougher as we go. But yeah, I think you are right. Smart Money does say the brothers probably going to take this one. They have that little bit more experience. They've been playing with each other that little bit longer. But it's not a Trackmania event unless there's upsets every now and then, right?
Oh yeah, you got to root for the upsets a bit. You know, it's always entertaining when things don't quite go as planned, and I don't think this match is it's certainly not pinned on for Czechia. You know, if they have a few bad rounds, they crash at the wrong times, then Spain are definitely going to be in a position, or I reckon they'll be in a good position to pick up the pieces.
I think the 15 actually kind of benefits the teams that would be favored though as well. It's 10 points is what I'm referring to, because in the normal way with that 10 points, yeah, a couple bad rounds can sink you, but when you go to 15 points, it does still reward that more consistent approach. It could be a close one to the end, and I'm hoping Geek was right. I'm hoping we do get to see the third map down to the wire, down to that very last drive, but I do think that now that, you know, we're off the panel, I'm sticking with Spain. Spain's going to win this one.
So you're saying 2-0 Spain?
Yeah, you know, maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I backed myself into a corner that I have to now. Oh no.
Aha. Well, I certainly hope we get a map 3. Map 3s are always so fun in this format, but it's not always meant to be. Yeah, it's so much to get excited for. There's so many other interesting matches as well, and it's just going to get better and better as the day goes on.
It will be. I have to admit, I'm a little scared for the Australian squads right now. They're in a bit of trouble. One's in the lower bracket, the other's going against Smiley Bob. That always has me nervous. Don't like that, but we'll see how it plays out for sure. Again, maybe we'll see him in lower bracket. I don't know. Maybe that's the upset that will happen. It's a lot of fun, and again, been enjoying these Trackmania games. So we should hopefully be getting started very shortly. Would like to get into it because. Oh, I like racing. Oh.
Exactly. It's a lot more fun to be looking at racing rather than just talking about it. But the anticipation, you know, it's part of the event as well, to sit here and try and make predictions and work out how the bracket's all going to form out as it goes along. But we have picks and bans. Admittedly, it's a very short pick ban for this format. Only 3 maps. Czechia straight in with Cryomass. Got 1 or 2 choices, Spain. What
I'm actually surprised. I'm kind of surprised that we have pick. I mean, it makes sense that we have pick and bans, right? Like, it does make sense. I guess you don't want a full RNG, but I do kind of find it funny when there's only 3 maps that you just kind of said straight into that. That was
Yeah, it's less pick and ban, more pick and go. Yeah, I mean, this format, there isn't often a usual... Between different events that have used this Duos format, there's been lots of different kind of map pool sizes. You have some go as far as like 8 or 10 maps sometimes in TM World Tour and past. Beacons use 5, this one's using 3, so yeah, it is a bit all over the place. But I think picks and bans just kind of carried over from that, as we are getting underway with warm-up, at least our first chance to see these players on track in an actual match.
Yeah, I mean,
very excited for this.
I am too. I think this is going to be a fun one. And I've got to ask that question because somehow during seeding, right, we went through the entire thing and we never explained really the tracks. We never really did a track run through, did we, Pastor? We were just too distracted talking about, I don't know, whatever was on the front of our mind. But starting with the one map with those ice turns, the all yellow map, in case you don't know where to go. What's your take on this one?
I think it does have that little bit of ice, but I don't think it ends up being the most influential section. Now, I will say I have not put I've not put an excessive amount of time into this track, and I'm sure there's potentially pro players screaming at their monitors, going, "What do you mean it's the most influential part?" But I think one thing to always keep an eye on for this track is that finish. It is a sideways finish, which means if you enter on, I guess, the right side of a finish as you're looking straight on at it, you can save a significant amount of time. There's times where it looks like one player is going to win and another just manages to get that tight finish. But we are underway. Round number 1, Czechia versus Spain. And it is a fairly equal start from all of them.
Yeah, it is going to be everyone neck and neck. Back to that finish, though. And if you think we're just, in case you think we might be over-exaggerating, as Loco goes very wide and loses a lot of speed, we were watching other streams, and we were seeing, you know, drivers left, right, and center get sniped at the end because they attack the wrong post or they just don't get quite that tight angle. I'm hoping Andy's going to be able to find it right now because he's the one fighting for the lead. Loco already following a few tenths behind. Is going to be hoping for a mistake from the Czechia side. We'll see how they play it out, though, as we get to the second half of the track.
Yeah, Bestie and Andy separated by thousandths of a second. As we get into the ice section, who's going to get it better? Ooh. Looks like a slightly odd line for Bestie, but it has worked out, and the two of them still separated by 7 thousandths. This is a brilliant 1v1 for first place, third and fourth, pretty locked into where they are. Andy RC with the advantage. Will anyone be able to get tighter at finish? No, Andy gets it very tight, and it is a 1-1 draw to kick off this match.
And so far, I think things are looking maybe as those would predicted, where Andy kind of being that player to watch, but as a whole, this other side, the brothers, they're so in sync and they're each so fast. I mean, it's kind of up to Andy to be as near perfect as possible if we're going to see the Spain team advance. And they're going to need some strong performances out of Loco as well, who again, through that first ice turn, winds up very wide. And it's the second time in a row, it feels like, where they've lost a couple tenths before the round really even started.
Yeah, and that immediately puts pressure onto Andy, where although in this format, if Andy RC wins every round, then Spain can stay in it, even if Loco is struggling for pace on this track.
We just drive forever.
Yeah, we supposedly could just drive forever. There is no points limit. Once you get above 15, you can just have, you know, a very long overtime potentially. And heck, there's probably a chance for overtimes with how it is going so far. But this does put a lot of pressure onto Andy, where if Andy does crash, then it's immediately an ace for Czechia.
And that's a bit unfortunate for the Spanish side as well, because Hill had some problems in the middle right there, but Loco had even more problems and wound up further back. So one of those opportunities maybe where Spain could have taken a point off of Czechia, but not going to be the case. Not this time. So we stay tied 2-2, and you know, this could be fun if we draw every single round and go forever, right? That's 15 rounds a minute long. I mean, this could be the match like that hours. Just goes exactly. Get comfy, everybody. This is going to be a long one.
Yeah. We have our first mistake from a Czechian player there. Bestie falling behind, so now it is really pressure onto Loco to try and hold on to the third place and break the stalemate that is starting to form, as Andy holding on to first as well, not really looking pressure to that. How close is Bestie behind? It's only about a tenth and a half.
Oh,
there he is,
oh my gosh.
Up. Can Loco hold on? This, I think, is the important battle. An interesting quirk of this duo game mode is often battle for third, and fourth is just as important as first and second, but Loco unable to hold on there, and we have it again. There we go, third round in a row of draws. Andy playing really well, just needs that support from Loco.
I mean, to be honest, that was Loco's better rounds, but it was Bestie who just absolutely sent it through the second half of the track. I think if we were, following those checkpoints, Bestie may have been the fastest through those last few checkpoints there, but because of that early mistake, obviously not within. This is the first time we've seen Loco clean, and it's Bestie who is kind of out of it right now. This is Spain's best opportunity to take the lead in this match, and Loco, in fact, actually kind of getting ahead of Hill as well. They're fighting for an ace.
Yeah, if Spain can get an ace here, then that really opens up this track for them, because at that point, Andy RC can just stick to getting first, looking utterly unchallenged at front, but it looks like it will be limited to a victory unless there is a mistake from Hill. Hasn't happened yet. Bestie too far down to be of any consideration for this round. Loco trying to pressure Hill into a mistake, but I don't think it's going to happen. A couple of corners left of the track. But the deadlock is finally broken. Loco picks up a third place, and Spain move into the lead, 5-4.
A big lead for the Spanish side. Again, finally something to break the ties, and it's going to put pressure now on to the brothers because they have to take down Andy. Andy has won every single round so far. He is shooting 4 for 4 at this stage. The consistency is there, and we knew that was going to be Spain's strength. I mean, Bestie. Andy just being consistent, but with Bestie already bonking out, that's a real problem.
Yep, and this is feeling a bit like round 3 all over again, where it's a case of can Loco hold on to third, but Hill taking the fight to Andy RC here. But doesn't seem to just be able to keep up. It almost looks like every corner Andy just pulled out maybe half a tenth, but the gap shrinking back down again now. Super close between these top two. Andy looking like they have it for now. Can Hill close at all? Oh, well, Loco has lost out to Bestie. As Hill loses a lot of speed. This is all over the place. Trying to keep track of it. Can Loco get anything better than fourth? It doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Going to be tight. Oh, goes more inside and does get it. Oh! And we get the first sideways finish incident as Loco goes super inside there and snipes Bestie by 16 thousandths of a second. And that now extends Spain's point lead to 2.
They're going to be very happy with that one and starting to pull further ahead. Spain right now, we're waiting to see still if anyone can catch Andy. That to me has to be the biggest story at this stage. But with Loco now finding that consistency, they've gotten to start down. They're really setting themselves up to be taking it to the Czechia side. And we'll see if that continues as we come up the hill. Everyone looking clean so far. I mean, again, it's just he's so fast off the start. Andy, I mean, Loco now being consistent. This is looking very strong for Spain.
Yeah, your pick is perhaps starting to come true a little bit. If Andy can just hold on to these first places, there's another mistake from Bestie, not having a great time here. As Andy, yes, still has that gap. It seems to just be able to stretch the advantage a lot during the second section of the track. It'll be very close with Hill, and then the gap will suddenly kind of go up to about 2/10. And it is another victory for Spain. Andy still undefeated in 6 rounds. As Bestie is just going to try and cross the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't going to change anything right there. We're still going to wind up out of that one. But Andy, just 6 rounds in a row. And again, like, you expect the better players to be consistent. You expect those better players to be up there. And, you know, we knew Andy was going to be a force to be reckoned with. I wasn't expecting 6 rounds in a row. And
no.
Especially on the map as well, that this was chosen by the Czechia side. This could only get better for Spain, perhaps. We'll see how it plays out. This is the closest Hill has been at the start, it feels like. This is the first time we are seeing Andy kind of wheel for wheel. In fact, Andy's even falling behind a bit, but with a bonk from Bestie further back, that's not going to help their chances.
Yeah, it is so tight between those two, but I feel like we've seen them tight going through this section, and Andy has always kind of gained the gap. It's after this ice line. I'm not sure if Andy is getting a better exit or has a slightly different line, maybe an earlier drift setup, Got entry to Vidurla. And Andy has crashed. Andy is a human, not a robot. A mistake has been made. But with Bestie's mistake earlier on, Czechia aren't able to capitalize on it. And the match kind of starts to march towards its conclusion. Now, anyone who is just tuning in, this is not the end of a map. We are playing to 15 points. Very different from normal duos. So that is not yet the map for Spain. But it is starting to look quite good for them.
Andy hit that wall hard and didn't lose any speed. Like, well, obviously lost speed, but like nothing significant, right? Was still able to hold on to second place. Like that in itself, the recovery was amazing as looks like the starting bug jitters have hit Loco again. So finally, Andy is going to feel a bit of pressure. Both of the brothers right on his tail. They're nearly looking wheel to wheel, actually. That is Hill looking so strong. Andy's following behind. Yeah, those brothers they were on the exact same line in the exact same position through 2 checkpoints there.
Yeah, well, this is now a pivotal 20 seconds of a match for Andy to try and hold on. As it is Bestie who slides out, and suddenly this entire round has switched to being a huge opportunity for Spain to at least pick up a victory. It will just be limited to a victory, as I think Loco made a mistake. Andy still wins by half a second after being challenged so much at the start. A scoreline now 12-8. Spain at track point. We haven't seen a single ace yet. So
yeah, we haven't. I'm surprised.
Yeah, this has to probably be a record for most rounds without an ace. 8 rounds.
Yeah, it's actually, we're due. That means we're due for an ace, and I look like somebody had a bit of a boo-boo right there, and I believe that may have been Loco. Not a terrible one, half a second down, so if somebody else has a mistake, we'll be able to catch him. This could be the ace, and Czechia needs the ace, right? They absolutely need to get themselves back in this heat. A draw puts Spain in a very strong position, but Andy is just so solid through these middle checkpoints. We'll see if Hill will be able to find something. So far, though, answer's not there. It's all about how you exit this ice, and it's Hill who has the tighter line, has the speed. Can he carry it through the dirt, though? Does not look like it.
That was a beautiful outside dirt from Andy RC there, pixels away from the barrier. It's going to be super tight heading into the sideways finish, though. Who will be closer? Oh, 3 thousandths of a second. I think Andy closed the gap a little bit, but not quite enough. Czechia get their first win on the board of this entire match, which is insane to say when the scoreline is this close. But Spain still getting closer and closer to a win. A victory here, or even just holding on to get a point on the board, would be massive for them. Will anyone make mistakes? This where the pressure starts to come onto the players, the nerves maybe starting to set in. If you're Spain, you maybe looked at this matchup and I don't know how confident they would have been going into it, but they're in a strong position to take a map here. Can they hold their nerve? Hill and Bestie hunting down Andy RC. It is very, very tight at the front.
It really is, but I mean, again, the confidence has to come from within, and Andy knows how strong of a driver they can be, and we are seeing that. But if Andy can't hold off the brothers right here, this could be Czechia getting the ace. They have the 1-2 right now down the hill. Andy is about as near perfect as you can get, enough to get past 1 and maybe save this round, at least for now. That 1 point would mean so much, and they do secure it. Czechia, they need an ace to win. Spain, well, they just need to avoid an ace to win it themselves.
Right, the numbers may be different, but for anyone who has followed lots of duos in the past, this is the equivalent of a 7-9 scoreline. It will definitely end this round. Czechia have to get an ace. Any other result, and this goes the way of Spain, and Andy's RC's efforts all pay off. Loco has fallen a bit behind at the start, likely to be out of contention for this round in terms of pure pace, so it is on Andy. Has to hold on, has to at least get second place here. Won the first 6 rounds in a row. Could really use one more win now. That's a big thread through this plastic section. It is so tight with barriers there. Oh, I thought Bestie was into the wall there, but holds on. And Czechia, they're in an ace position. Can Andy hunt them down? It's 1/10 of a second to close. It's no time at all.
Oh my.
He'll lose a bit of speed. So far to the outside on this stir from all the players. Can Czechia get it? Is Andy RC going to get past? It's going to come down to this sideways finish. And Andy does it. Gets into a critical second place. And we get a 14-15 scoreline. You could not really get any closer than that without having to go into overtime. What a brilliant performance from Andy. Such a strong start to the match. Really gave him the leverage to still get the map point across the line when Czechia looked like they started to warm up towards the end.
Yeah, it definitely took Czechia a while to kind of compete with Andy, but once they were there, it got tight for Spain. And I am worried going into the next maps whether or not we'll see if Loco will be able to raise their game as well. But that last round, it started with the downhill dirt turn. I mean, it looked pixel perfect to me when Andy was able to bring in. That's where they found the speed. That's where they got past Bestie, and that was it. That was all that they needed to do. But he was gaining on the end. If there's one or two more turns, I actually think Andy wins that track, depending on how the turns look and if there is an overtaking opportunity. But the pace was there. I mean, crazy stuff in the clutch, comes through, knew his teammate was out of it early, and still found a way to get across the line. So getting ready for the next map. It was the map that Spain chose as well. I think Czechia steals it, though. I think Geek was right. We're going to 3. I now believe. I shouldn't have doubted. Geek is right. We're going 3, and it's going to be close to the end.
Yeah, that was so ridiculously close. I hope we get to see a map 3. I hope we get to see more of that. Although it is a lot of pressure on Andy to make that happen currently. I don't think Loco is looking particularly comfortable on that first map. Maybe it goes better on the second one. But yeah, it was very impressive. I don't think Andy made any major mistakes. I think there's one wall tap, and in that round, he still came second. So
yeah,
it's like a mistake round. I actually don't think he finished lower than second in the entire
he did
first
not.
map.
He did not.
And will be this round. That is a... yeah, shouldn't have said that, unfortunately.
No, I blame... Hold on. No. Don't blame yourself. Blame production for just cutting to that moment right then and there, all right? That's not on you. Yeah. Caster curses aren't real.
Button, but...
it's production making us look bad.
Well,
shout out to Ketchin, by the way, doing a great job.
This is a great opportunity for Hale and Bestie to finally get an ace, but it felt like they were so close to getting so many times on my first map and start trying to pull this match back against Spain. Loco looking a lot closer on this map. This is already feeling like a stronger round than any of the ones on, I believe it was Cryomass before. But it's not looking like it's going to be enough. We go into this very strange finish. And Loco and Andy both make it. What on earth happened at the end there? I'm guessing Andy was closing up the entire map, and it's a draw.
Look, this map is fun to drive and all, but like that ending as a spectator, it's cruel. Like you really can't see what was happening right there. So don't know what happened to Bestie. Spain somehow turns that into a draw, which credit to them. Job well done. Nice recovery. Now I'm wondering what Andy's pace is when he doesn't, make a mistake right at the start. And he's using the brick. He's using the brick. And look at how much more space that gives you. That's why we were talking about before. We were expecting it to come into play in the rounds, but the line taking from Bestie through the wood nearly gets him right up with Andy. Couldn't quite hold that speed, unfortunately. And now we're in another draw position as we hit the second half of the track.
Yep, draws seeming the name of the game in this match, but it is flipped to last time. Andy will have to hold on, go through his end section, but there is a mistake. That is Hill. I don't think Hill has made many mistakes over the course of this match. That is an uncharacteristic one, but it gives an opportunity for a victory for Spain, which we will go and pick up. Andy back to winning ways after a mistake in the previous round. Bestie holds on to second, Loco third, Hill fourth, and Spain take the lead on map 2.
You'd be surprised that Andy is the one to start using the brick as well, because I mean, the confidence is there. You can see it out the gate. Car links ahead straight off the rip. Loco keeping up with them as well. This could be another good opportunity for Spain should they hold these positions. So you can see the brick again. Look how much space it gives them right now. Loco as well nearly was able to hold on to third right there. Just couldn't quite held onto that tight line. So Bessie will get it for now. Super wide line for Andy, and actually winds up giving up a lot of ground initially. Should have speed though through these next couple corners. I love seeing the two different approaches, and it feels like while the brick is good for Andy, Hill is much better through the dirt.
Yeah, and it does end up leaving them in quite an equal position this time. Hill slightly ahead, but less than 10th second in it. Bestie closing the gap as well now. These top three going to be super close across the line. As we try to make out what happens, looks good for Hill. Andy almost closed the gap, 0.06 of a second there, but Czechia get a win, and we are tied in this match. That's a shocker. We haven't seen that one before.
Yeah, these two teams being evenly matched. Wow, who could have seen it? But yeah, it looked like at the end right there, Hill just kind of overshot the finish and nearly wound up getting sniped by Andy 0.06 of a second. And yet, you know, I'm not too shocked that they finished that close with each other. It's just been that kind of match, those kinds of rounds.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just so close. Oh, Loco all over the place with that line there. That is gonna... It's going to look good for a second, but drop a load of speed as it is pressure back onto Andy RC. Someone who is just making so few mistakes this match. It has been super impressive for Spain, and they've needed that consistency out the front. Hill and Bestie trying to chase Andy down, but it looks like we could be en route for another draw. Oh, it's Bestie crashes,
maybe
though.
not.
That opens up the opportunity for Loco. Can Loco get into third place?
No.
No, not
hate
quite.
This finish.
We don't have aces in this format.
True.
We haven't had a single one yet in... We must have played, what, 20 rounds or so at this point?
Yeah, aces don't exist.
Rounds? Yeah, they're not real. Oh, well, this is a good opportunity for one, though, as Bestie is out of it immediately. Loco's had a really strong start. Hill, a few temps down. This would be massive for Spain. It would get them so close. Well, it would get them 4 points ahead in this match, and it's not going to happen. Loco
no aces.
Yeah, the no aces guarantee is continuing. Every round is just a victory or a draw. It is still looking like a good opportunity for a victory for Spain. Hill really has to try and close up to Andy, try and get past, try and keep it to just a 1 point gap. These two teams are so close.
They want it. I mean, I don't really see a world right now where Hill chases down Andy unless we get an egregious mistake at the tail end of it all. And in this type of series, you know, when we're not getting, you know, anything, no aces, just either 1 points or draws, every point feels that much more important. And this is a round where Spain started to pull away on the last map as well. Now a 2 point advantage. It feels like 20. They're in a prime position. If they can continue, again, if Andy can continue getting these #1 results, if Loco can be somewhat consistent in that second, third, more realistically the third spot, Spain's got it.
Yeah, it is feeling so similar to last time. As Andy goes for that brick again. Doesn't look to have done the most fair, but ooh, Loco crashes. This is a potential opportunity for Czechia here. Bestie getting past Andy here. Those two still very, very close together. A single mistake from Andy would blow this match wide open. But for now, holding on against Bestie.
The machine.
Yeah, this
to make
is...
mistakes.
Sometimes you do just see an individual player performance in duos that just stands out, and this one from Andy has been exemplary so far. How will it go across this second? Andy wins, of course. That's... You know, we drive around the track for 55 seconds, and at the end, Andy somehow ends up in first, is how this is starting to feel. And it's another victory for Spain.
And he cares not for your PBs. Because that was a PB, and it still was not enough. Out of the, I believe it was Bestie who had that right there. Is there a worse feeling in Trackmania than getting a PB and still not winning your round? Like,
yeah,
I think that is the worst. I think, that said, you know what's a good feeling? Being 1-2 out the start, and that's exactly where kind of Hill and Bestie are lying around the wood. Andy really likes that wide line because it helps him carry the speed through the plastic and into this dirt section, but this time he might be a bit too far back. An ace would tie things up. Do we get our first ace just to tie up the match right now? I think that would be perfect.
I think it would. And Andy goes into the wall there, so that's going to drop another couple of attempts behind him. 1 second behind now. Loco, can they try and hold on? This is probably the best way to view the finish,
perfect.
But it will be Hill and Bestie. First and second, we get our first ace of the match. After over 20 rounds, probably. It's hard to even keep track. But we are tied up. It is 10-10. Spain's advantage built up over the course of the entire map up to this point. Gone with one mistake from Andy there. and Loco unable to get close enough to deny it. And there's another mistake there from both Spanish players. And it looks like we could be heading to map 3. It won't happen this round, but 13-10 scoreline, I don't think that's getting undone.
Yeah, with the consistency issues that we've been seeing out of Loco, and now Andy starting to struggle as well, I do have to agree, this could be what puts Czechia back over that line. As it stands, though, can I just shout out, I should apologize, production. I'm sorry I blamed you for trying to frame us with caster curses. That angle for the finish, magnificent. That's what we need. That's why production gets paid the big bucks. So keep that up. Here we go. Watch. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. We get to see them cross the line. We actually get an idea of how far apart they are. It's brilliant. We do this round. It was a blowout. Yes. That's what we need as Czechia advances to match point.
Yeah, and from no aces in the entire match to 2 in a row for Czechia there. And it's 13-10. As Bestie makes an early mistake, Spain have to get an ace at some point soon. 2 victories would not be enough. And it is looking good for them, to be honest. They got 4 attempts back to Hill in 3rd. It feels like, we broke the seal on aces and suddenly we've got 3 in a row potentially coming to happen. And that would bring us on to 13-13. We would still be tied up like we always seem to be in this match. I could watch these 2 teams play each other for days.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting one because we know they have the pace to go neck to neck. I have to admit, this map, it has been a little bit more of who has the composure, more so than who's winning those neck and neck races. So it's an interesting one. A lot of unforced errors. Here we go to the finish line. What we got, 1-2. Spain gets across, tied 13-all, each on match point. Do you risk it? Do you try to push hard for that first place right now, or are you sitting back? Are you just making sure you get across clean? Because I feel like getting across clean is almost more important right now.
It's a hard decision to make because we are into a point situation where if any team wins or gets an ace, they will win this map. This is match point for Spain as well. If they can manage to get a victory here, then it is all over for Czechia. So with the amount of mistakes we've seen towards tail end of this second map, it could be down to seeing who blinks first. Bestie, not on the greatest run, is going to have to try and close up to Loco there to give Czechia a chance. Hill battling with Andy all the way. No major mistakes from any of the players yet, though. Just 3 attempts covering the entire field. Hill hunting down Andy.
Yeah, but Bestie messed up. We're set for a draw right now. Unless we can get the snipe. Here we go. Give us that vision. Across the line, it's Andy! But it's not Loco. It's a draw.
As we hit 14-14. How close can this match possibly be? It is match point for Spain still. We basically have ended up in the exact same situation that we were in start of last round, and we're just going to continue doing that until someone manages to win. As we see one player from each side drop down, and it looks like it's been a big mistake for Loco than it has been for Bestie. So Hill getting a win here would almost guarantee map 3 for Czechia. And I think
just
Hill
hold off
Andy. Yeah.
Yeah,
just hold off Andy. That has gone really well for them so far. That is quite the task.
Yeah, at that token, though, I mean, you've got that lead for a reason, but the line Andy takes up the hill was ridiculous. Enough to take the lead, holds the speed through the next couple checkpoints, but now things kind of reset, and we are 1/100th of a second apart going to the finish. Who has the better line? 4,000th advantage to Hill. He can't hold it, and we draw again.
And we are officially into overtime. I don't know how we hadn't made it into overtime at some point earlier in this match. But 14-15 in map 1, 15-15 currently in map 2. There is nothing to separate these two teams. And it is going to go right down to the wire. Everyone making it through that first section fairly unscathed, other than Hill falling 3 attempts behind. Andy still going for brick strategy. Big mistake from Loco. And it's the repeat of last round again, but Hill and Bestie switching positions. Can't Bestie hunt down Andy? 2 attempts. I wouldn't try and hunt down Andy from 2 attempts behind. That is going to be a very difficult task if Andy keeps it clean. Gaining time on that uphill as well. Just seems to get, just seems to get more grip up it.
Here's the scary thing as well, too, what I've noticed. Andy has this finish down packed. And so it's not like being even with Andy to the end. I feel like you need to have a 1/10 lead if you want to beat him coming into that last checkpoint. I don't even know. Wait, does Loco still have to finish, or are we still, is this still a
Loco
draw?
does need to finish.
Okay.
I believe.
Does he have enough? Does he get there?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
It's all good. It's all good. I will say, Czechia got away with that round, though. 1.2 seconds off the pace, both of them. We were lucky that Loco crashed early on. Because Loco could have been there to pick up a piece and finally give Spain this match. As we are now 16-16. It's overtime. Lasting a few rounds already.
Here we go. This time, okay, Andy hits the brick this time, but not as cleanly as he has in the past. So kind of more on the side. And now all of a sudden, Loco is down. Again, not really up in the front. Pressure's on Andy, who didn't get that clean start. Czechia did get the clean start. They've got that momentum again. You want to be about 1/10 ahead. Guess what? That's roughly where they're sitting, or at least that's where they were sitting until these uphills, where Andy does make up some ground. I don't know if he made up enough. This is the best look Czechia had. Again, Andy has to pass them both, and usually he will do so at the very end, but he's more than a 10th back, surely. This could be Czechia winning the map. Here we go to the line. Does Andy snipe it once more? No, an ace, and that's going to do it. We're going to map 3.
We're going to map 3. This could be a very, very long map. Match 14-15 and then 19-16 as the scoreline so far. And after everything you've seen, how are you feeling about your prediction? I said that I reckoned Czechia would just get it, but Andy RC would be a tough opponent. You said Spain would get it. How are you feeling?
I mean, this is the most coin flip map. We chose the right one. We looked at them all and we're like, all right, this one looks close. I wasn't expecting it to be this close. I was expecting a 2-0, 15-12, 15-11, right? Not this, not ties and aces being a rarity. This has been exactly what you hope to see from the Trackmania games. And now going to that third map, neither team's super comfortable on it. I've been noticing more unforced errors from the Spain side. I gotta be real. Czechia looks like the more consistent team. They are always up there, and it feels like Loco, on their best runs, still needs a mistake out of their opponents in order to get that round win for the Spanish side. So if Loco can't stay consistent, it could be doom and gloom for Spain.
Yeah, it really feels like Loco needs to just make sure, even if they're half a second behind on pace, that they just get clean runs across the line so that when there is a mistake, when you get the Czech players crashing, they are there to pick up the pieces. Because there was one round where I think Spain are really going to be ruining its missed opportunity, where both Hill and Bestie finished 1.3 seconds down, and Loco is just unfortunately nowhere to be found at that stage.
We're going to jump into this one. Here we go. Third and final map. And always gets a little bit crazy here as we are straight into the rounds. Everybody up towards the front, actually. Less than a 10th separating them all through the plastic. We finally get a map, a track where everybody is able to stay tight till the end.
Well, I mean, I think with this track as well, there is something very important to remember, which is the end. It is one of the toughest of the risky finishes in this pack. And I think we saw a lot of mistakes in that, even going as far as the final in the mixed solo. So in mixed duo, I expect it to still cause some issues, cause some upsets, but for now, it is actually a Czech first and second. Will they hold on to the 1-2? Is Andy going to be able to get past? Oh, Andy's in the way.
Oh.
But clips. And that is massive.
It's an ace by less than a 10th of a second. Like, that is insane. Everyone was so close, but you're right. Andy clipped. Andy couldn't quite hold that finish despite maybe having that tighter line. He gave up too much speed in order to find it. So a Czechia ace to start things off, unless Spain responds in kind quite early, this could be that slow bleed, that slow burn that gets Czechia across. However, at the start of this round, Bestie's falling back.
Ooh,
so is Andy. And that is not who you want to see. It's now up to Loco to try to save this round.
Yep, Loco at the front, actually, for now. Maybe feeling a little more comfortable on this map compared to the previous two. This would be a massive round. I think also for just momentum on Spain's side if Loco can get a win. But Andy in fourth currently, not a position that I think he's been in at all this match. Loco loses a bit of speed. And it's going to be another ace for Czechia. 6-0 now. And the close match we've seen so far may have all fallen apart here on Mime's map.
Yeah, but it's just little mistakes, and that's got to be so frustrating for the Spanish side, right? Like, they have the pace to ace on this one. They have the speed. It's there. Yet 6 points down already. And this is where you become a little bit thankful for the fact you're going for 15 instead of 10, because you've got a bit more wiggle room to catch back up, but it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a long battle, and Spain can ill afford to make any more mistakes. We'll see how they look. Through the start, everybody's clean. You don't really see too many differences in times and placements until more that midway point of the track, unless somebody makes a mistake, which is why when Andy has a lead like he does, this is quite significant. Nearly a 10th up already. Andy is flying.
Yeah, it is very... Yeah, it's a very, very strong start for Andy there. And Loco, we saw pace last round and it just came undone right at the end. Does Loco have a bit of pace here to try and get Spain anything better than a draw? I'm not sure there is enough track left to make the difference unless there is a mistake from one of the Czech players. Oh, but the mistake comes from Andy, and that is another ace for Czechia. It has all fallen apart here for Spain on map number 3.
Great Spanish collapse is happening in front of our eyes right now. They just have been unable to piece together clean runs. That is 3 times now where Andy has had problems on the final turn. Loco as well just hasn't been able to get that clean round in, and this is a good start. Again, they've had that 1-2 positioning, but they've had good starts every single time. It's the finish where they struggle, yet Bestie, for the second time, kind of has bonked off that same wall, and yet Czechia still finds a way to ace. So even though Bestie is like, you know, okay, well, he's 3 seconds down. I don't think he's going back.
Yeah, no acing this round.
All right. Well, as it stands, hey, Spain needs to ace if they want to get back into this one. They need to ace twice if they really want to get back into this one. So pressure on Loco. Can he stay in front of Hill? Will Andy finally get that clean finish? Here we go. Final turn. Andy has to get across that line. Loco has to get that snipe. Hill actually has a better liner. Does he? It's tight. No, he can not. It was close. It was close.
I think Spain really, really needed an ace there. They needed the gap to be closed by 3 points, not 1. Spain are going to have to find some aces shortly. But it's a good round for them. Maybe they can start building from there. Starting something 9-0 down, though, is so tough.
I mean, they're at the stage right now where even if they kind of, like, win the next 5 rounds, right? Like, that gets them to 12, and Czechia wins. They need aces. They cannot win this match without at least 1 ace. And maybe they have some opportunities to do it, but every time they will lose a round, they lose an opportunity as well. So it is back against the wall for the Spanish side. And just like in those past couple rounds, through the first half of the track, they have the 1-2 position. They know how to do the start. It's been the tail end. It's been the finish where they've been struggling. So maybe this time they come across it clean.
Yeah, Loco leading a clean round here. Has looked stronger on this map compared to some of the others. Can Andy hold on here? Or are the Czech players gonna find their way through? Yeah, Andy does have it. I thought Andy was going to hit the side of a finish there, but managed to just avoid it. Spain get one of those crucial aces back. They've gained a lot of points in the last 2 rounds. There is still hope for the Spanish side. I reckon they need at least 1 more. Well, if they were to win every round here, it would end up going to overtime, but realistically, they will need at least 1 more ace, I think, to keep in contention here.
Even draws are bad. Even draws are bad, and that is just such an awful spot to be in, knowing you have so much work to do. But here we go. I mean, at the moment, they're winning the round, and that's fine. Winning the round is the bare minimum that Spain needs, and Czechia, at that same token, they've got to be careful. I mean, momentum is in their favor. Yes, they just got ace, but they still should be feeling in control. If you get ace twice in a row, that feeling of quicksand might start to sink in. Don't tell Bestie, though. He's out in front, and Hill's got momentum as well. Final turn, though. Make or break. Andy's starting to pull ahead, but here comes Hill. Absolutely sending it right now to the line. Who gets there first? It's going to be Andy. Bestie with a PB. Not enough, and another round goes to Spain.
Yeah, Spain looking increasingly confident as this has gone on. It was 9-0 to Czechia at one point. Now it's 11-7 to Spain. If it continues at that rate, then Spain do have a very real opportunity to win this map, or perhaps get us to overtime again. It looked like we might have a first walkover of this match, but it's not happening anymore. Spain getting back into the rhythm of things. And tell you what, oh yeah, that's a biggie for Bestie. That is a big mistake for Bestie. It is going to give... Well, it's going to move all the pressure onto Hill now, who has to try and get a draw. Draws are brilliant for Czechia right now. It just brings the match closer to its conclusion, and that's what they need. But Loco really stepping up here on this map. Andy, quick as ever. Misses the reactor, though. Misses the reactor. Andy will be consigned down to third
Bestie
place
could catch him.
at best. Bestie
did catch him. Oh, this is going to be a round win to Czechia as long as they nail the finish. Hill gets it. Bestie does as well. A disaster for Spain, all because of miss on the reactor touch. And now it is Czechia, match point 13-8. So close to advancing on.
Yeah, this is so tricky for Spain now. They have to get an ace this round, pretty much. I think if they don't, then it is as good as over. And with Loco crashing there, yeah, Andy has to hold on to first here to at least give a draw, at least keep them technically in contention. Andy has played very well across this entire match. Loco close behind as well. It's not over yet.
It's not.
A little chance. Oh, Andy respawns. That's over. That is going to be Czechia heading through in the upper bracket. I pity whichever lower bracket team has to come across Spain.
Yeah,
I think a ridiculously good lineup to be dropping down at this stage. What a absolute belter of a match we have witnessed. But Czechia will be finishing this map as they started with an ace, and in the only kind of dominant performance we've seen across this entire match, Czechia will win 16-8 on map 3. 2-1 victory overall. And
Crazy.
My prediction comes true.
Yeah, you got that one right. Well done to you. I mean, look, that one really could have gone either way. So hats off to both the teams. And you're right. Going up against an Andy Scorned in that lower bracket does not sound like a fun time. However, you know who was probably having a fun time watching along, not having to work, you know, sitting back, eating their popcorn, chilling out? It would be our, you know, supposedly lovely Death's Coast and the actual lovely Geek. They ready to jump in? Yeah, they are. There they are.
What the hell, man?
I'm sorry.
You got roasted, boy. You got straight up roasted.
I save my compliments for people who put their reputation on the line and drop predictions. You didn't drop a prediction. You lost my respect.
That's correct. And I'm glad I didn't, because that match was incredibly close when it came down to it. Patser, I think you said it probably the best at the end there. I mean, best of luck to whoever has to face Spain in the lower bracket now. It's not going to be easy. I will tell you, I think we probably already know that was one of the last matches still going there, if not the last match still going. Shockingly, I know. I believe it might be. No, I don't know. What I can tell you is that we do still have 2 GB teams in the upper bracket. We still have 2 German teams in the upper bracket. We still have 2 Norwegian teams in the upper bracket. G-Geek, there is one nation where I'm not seeing 2 teams. That nation is France.
Hang on,
France
I'm barely getting into the bracket, Mr. Noah. Let me just quickly take a look at that. I mean, there's France 1 going through. That's not the and France 2, that's Zera and Naiko against Italy 1, which is, I think, the team from Caprisotina. Not the end of the world. Both teams still having chips in. One in the winners, one in the lowers bracket. So all good there, in my opinion.
Yeah, not the end of the world exactly. And we have seen strong lower bracket runs already in mixed tournaments at the TM Games formal.
Yeah, that we have, and we're going to see another one right now. All right, Australia 1 down there, getting geared up, ready to go, making the run of the century. So look out. I pity the fool who has to go up against that team.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting when we do get into that lower bracket a little bit as well. And I mean, we are going to be getting into it in the next round. No upper bracket matches for a little while. They've earned a break now with what they've done. We have to get the lower bracket to catch up, Padster. So just looking down the lower bracket, I mean, there are some very strong teams down here at the moment. Turkey 1 versus Australia 1, for example, is going to be a little bit of a tough match for both of those teams. Italy 2 versus USA 1, exciting. Canada 2 versus Netherlands 2. There's a lot of strong teams already in this lower bracket. And I mean, yeah, let's have a quick look at how things have been going for those teams there. Devastated to see Ireland 2 already eliminated from the lower bracket. Netherlands versus Canada 2, I think an interesting match as well.
Yeah, so much to pick from here. There's so much quality in this lower bracket. I mean, across this entire tournament. And there are very, very strong teams in there. I mean, second French lineup is down there. I mean, the fact that someone's going to have to play Spain is going to be a ridiculously difficult match.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so hard to make any predictions. Although I do see a world here where the USA... end up playing again. Which would be utterly hilarious if that happens. Aris and Zyron in the way of that.
And it looks as though one of our talent from across the pond has also chimed in the chat. I might let you have a little bit of a highlight there if you want to. But yeah, someone is not too happy about that particular bracket run, that's for sure.
Yeah, Randomize not thrilled about how things are shaking out for the USA team. That's what happens when you get your seeding stuff.
I'm frozen.
No, you're not
guys.
frozen. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, I was.
I can see you moving. Don't worry about it. We're going to throw to a quick break. We do have the lower bracket to come after this. We are continuing with the mixed duos at the Trackmania Games. And as we've said, lots of exciting matches yet to come. Lots of nations still fighting for their lives. There are a lot of nations who have had both teams drop into that lower bracket, but still have both of them alive. We'll wait and see how things start to shake out. Don't go anywhere. Lots of exciting action yet to come.